Hello everybody. Today we are here for our only in-person pre-recorded interview, and today we are joined by Maxim Lavrov, or Max.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
So just to kind of get into it, I could give a little bit of an introduction because we've actually worked together in the
Yes.
past,
Yeah.
and well, now you've moved on to greater things, but I was just thinking you should probably walk through it. So would you be able to walk us through your career thus far and tell us how you ended up in your current role as a data analyst over at Exclusive Networks?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a fourth year college major. My major is business administration in information systems and concentration. And me and Ben worked together my second year when I was on board as director of meetings for CPE, California Entrepreneurship Club. And that's really how we met. I also met him my first year too. Went on a lot of tours together. That was really fun. And then really my career is just two internship roles. My first internship was at PepsiCo as a sales management intern, which is really cool. I did that my second year summer going to my third year. Very cool area. It was in Bloomington, California, and really just did a lot of sales management. And now I am a data operations analyst at Exclusive Networks, a cybersecurity company at Cal Poly, and it's also a global company too. And that company has been really fun to be a part of and work with, just because I've been able to learn a lot of cool techniques in data that I really didn't really get from my past internship, and it's been a really cool process so far. I'm learning a lot of new details as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, and then first of all, I feel like it's kind of a big range. I feel like sales to data analytics is
Yeah.
already one big jump. So I'm kind of curious on how that happened. But before we kind of get into all of that, I want to potentially just ask you, what is Exclusive Networks? For the people at home that don't know, could you explain what Exclusive Networks actually does?
Yes, so I would say Exclusive Networks is a very big middleman company. It really connects the just the smaller detail companies, like maybe school districts, other smaller companies, with the big cybersecurity areas like Fortinet and Ruckus. And Exclusive Networks is really just a sales area where they really just try to sell these softwares and cybersecurity softwares to these other companies and to get people to want to be a part of it. So again, a lot of people are calling and taking sales into calling school districts, the CTOs in those areas, just to get them acclimated with their cybersecurity platforms.
Okay. Well, and then you said the word sales there. There's
Yeah.
probably a little bit of overlap between your
Yes.
past and now the
Yeah.
present as well. I mean, taking into account all of that, but also just the previous experience, if you now think of your typical day, what does that exactly look like as well?
So my typical day it definitely is like a variation of different tasks. I really just report to my boss and try to understand what is she to do right now. Again, I'm just like an intern, so nothing crazy technical, but it is just really seeing what is some certain tasks my boss wants me to do. So that does entail a lot of different areas of a working aspect. So I definitely I started out as doing some marketing roles, then to Power BI, then to operations mapping, and now I'm doing some API integration onboarding for other vendors, which has been really fun.
Nice.
So yeah, so there definitely is a big variety in that operations and data aspect of the role.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally. Well, and that's definitely a bigger role than data analytics in the first place. And I instantly think about entrepreneurship,
Yeah,
funny enough,
yeah.
right? For relating back to that Cal Poly entrepreneur side of things, now in this new position, you're also kind of wearing multiple hats, doing many different tasks, and you're kind of all over the place. What are some tools and potentially data or anything like that you currently work with that makes that part of the job easier?
Yeah, so some tools I've worked with is definitely Power BI. That's been probably the first thing I got into technically in the role. I really just understood how to work with Power BI systems, make dashboards, understand what data visualization was, and really look at the semantic model and really plug and play numbers. And pretty much Power BI for the data part of the job was really just to make our dashboards and our company metrics look visualizing and appealing so that anyone could really read them and understand what's going on in the business.
Okay, awesome. And for the sake of kind of trying to connect the dots there,
Yeah.
and even trying to kind of explain it to me, what is
Yeah.
Power BI?
Power BI is just like a Microsoft application service that really just lets you pull Excel data or big raw data into a area where you could sort it and kind of categorize it and make graphs, pivot tables, bullet bullet point lists and stuff like that, just to like really make it show visually appealing and to like categorize data so you can like pull different parts of like data areas that you're looking for, like for example, like salespeople or budget lines, and you just click those and it'll show you everything regarding like that specific area for that data and through the metrics you use to make it.
So then also now in the current position or the current role that you have, what is one of the biggest challenges that you have faced thus far, and how did you end up overcoming it?
Yeah, and that definitely would be in the visualization aspect. You know, I never really did data visualization or really work with data at all prior to this role. So understanding how to make visually appealing like dashboards has been a really big struggle for me. So I would make these dashboards and I would put like, for example, I would put like the salespeople on the top left side for the drop down where you can click the salespeople. And then on another dashboard, I would put the same exact salespeople drop down on like the right side in another area. And then I remember I showed it to my boss, like, do you like it? And she was like, okay, like this should be easy for anyone to understand. So it should be like how like Macs or like computers are made, you know, like how where the X is on the computer on like the top right, you always know where that is. So you should always know where the salespeople are in every aspect too. And then also making it company focused. So like our exclusive networks colors, the purple color, getting it all like visually appealing has been a really big challenge for me. And, you know, just like understanding it as like, yes, I know what the numbers meant, but then I had to kind of like focus my mindset to be like, okay, how would I look at this if I had no idea what was going on too? And then combining those two so it becomes more visually appealing has been a challenge, but it is one that I overcome. But yeah.
Okay. I mean, I feel like the design is always difficult.
Yeah,
and it always is. I know that right before when we were setting this up, one of the things was, okay, can we make this background look as clean as possible and make sure that everything is set up as nice as possible? And by all means, I feel like when you're looking at the physical landscape of it, it might sometimes be a little bit easier because, okay, we'll set up a plant and call it a day. Now you have to consistently think, okay, is the plant in the same spot, right? Are the wires out of the way? But also now in your context, potentially, I don't know, is everything set up the correct way? I like your idea of, okay, maintaining the brand color and kind of all of that side of things, making it look visually appealing is definitely a really big part of it. So one of the questions that we always ask every single guest is, for the people watching today, what is one piece of advice that you would give them?
I think one piece of advice that I have is whenever you're looking for new roles or new like types of areas or interests you are in, and even if what your resume or what your past has that may not really correlate to it right away, you should always still try and go for those positions, because I truthfully believe that like anyone can do anything as long as you have that like mindset that you want to do it. And honestly, when I started this role, I watched so much YouTube on Power BI and SQL just to really understand what was going on. So YouTube is a big helpful tool. But again, I would say definitely like if you just ever have like any interest in something that's not in your range, if you just like work for it, I think it will like definitely work out well. Yeah.
Awesome. I think that's great advice. I mean, I feel like middle school, high school, school in general is always just about, I don't know, trying out as many different things as possible. I feel like one of the big pieces of advice that I usually give is just say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, you'll get overwhelmed. And I guess the overwhelmed part isn't good, but now at least you also learned what is too much for yourself. So continuing to say yes and stepping into a completely new position as a data analyst, the exclusive networks might have been, well, potentially a big reach, but it seems like you're very much qualified for it, and your curiosity is definitely pushing you through here. So congratulations on the position as well. Yeah, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.